Hi, folks. Welcome to Caffeinated Terrier Talk. I am one of your three hosts, Ben Schenkman, urban fantasy author and audiobook narrator, joined by Laurie Nielsen, author, and Tal Good, author and excellent musician as well, among other things. And also, Laurie Nielsen, also a graphic and visual
Designer,
artist.
yeah.
Graphic and visual artist, web comic creator, game designer, shirt designer, even though it's backwards.
Oh,
It says
cool.
Abolish.
I will say that
I wear so many hats.
that font is oddly hard to read backwards, of all things.
It
I think
really
it's 'cause
is.
it's bubbly.
Yeah, it's bubble font.
And Clarence, washed up versus washed out. I don't know. Take your pick. Roll the dice. I'm not sure which is better or worse.
Washed up. Oh,
Yeah, Clarence is not washed up. Clarence is great, and Tanya's great too. Okay, so
yes.
Tal was just going to tell us. So we keep, for a while we actually just thought that we would never meet in person. That's
Yeah,
actually
I
how
actually
it
don't remember.
started.
When did we meet in person?
We met in.
I don't even know when we met in person.
One of your book things.
Was it the? It can't have. No. We met in person at the Westfield Artworks.
Is that really it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was the first time.
Because we've known each other for years without having met then.
Yes, mostly through intermediaries.
Oh, good hats.
I also love the fact that if you shake your head, the feet dangle.
Oh, wow.
So if you do get another monster foot hat, shake your head because the feet dangle. Yeah. So we met. We got connected through JR, a performer friend of ours, and then I started working events that Tal was the performance coordinator for, with my fire performance group.
Yeah, I hired his group for several different festivals and fairs, like because I run multiple ones. And then it kept being either at times that either like I was performing, so I wouldn't see him, or I just wouldn't be at the festival that day.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would be something would come up and I wouldn't be there.
Yep.
Weird.
And it happened for years.
Yeah, and no one complained, so therefore we kept getting hired. And well, I just mean like Tal wasn't there to be like, that was a great show. But she was.
Well, I saw videos and things.
You know what I mean. No one was like, you
Yeah.
shouldn't hire these guys anymore.
They set the audience on fire. It was terrible.
I mean, to be fair, depending on where we performed, the audience might enjoy that. But
It's like Gallagher, but you smashed a flaming watermelon and the whole front row caught fire.
it's true.
It's so dangerous. I don't know how you get away with it.
They signed a waiver. So yeah, the joke is that Tal will never see any fire performance that I ever do because like the gods.
Yeah, I still haven't seen his performance. Yeah.
Wow.
And I've hired him for the Enchanted Orchard, but for Friday night, and I can't be there Friday night.
Mm-hmm. So like just history repeating itself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm also a photographer and the semi-unofficial photographer of your fire troop.
Well, yeah, I
don't know how that works.
The fire troop that was. And,
yeah. And will be again, sort of.
Kind of different.
Somehow.
Yeah.
You will rise again like a phoenix from the ashes.
There's a reason that was like the mythical animal of choice of mine for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Okay, so we came here for reasons. We came here
to celebrate.
We never stick to topics, but yes. Ben has a very exciting,
a brand new book out.
Woo.
We're here partially, at least. Now, to be fair, there's like a big release party that's happening. To be fair, there's a big release party that's happening next week, April 6th at 7 p.m. on various channels, and I've posted about it before. We're actually there's a number of podcasters like Book Talk people that I've wrangled together through the help of my good friend and additional online personality Daniel Kulbaugh, who hosts the Fantasy and Sci-Fi Fanatics podcast. And it's going to be him, Chris, the bearded book beast, and Michael Vadney from Author Adjacent. And they're all going to be joining a 1 hour live that we're doing. We may also have a very special urban fantasy author guest that I kind of don't want to talk about in case he bails. So, you know, you have to show up and find out if he shows up. But we're going to be talking about my book, answering questions, talking about books in general. And at the end of the live, there is going to be a special gift, because I can't say that word, I guess. And I refuse to say it with an SHM in front of it, because that just
please
sounds
don't.
stupid.
I'll reach through the internet and strangle you.
Wait, try it. You reach out.
I'll
Hold on, we have to like there.
I use the force.
There's going to be a signed copy of my book, like a physical signed paperback of my book with this gorgeous cover. Is going to be in the offing for the end of that event. That's again April 6th at 7 p.m. But today is 2 days after my book was released, because it was released on Monday, March 30th, and at least one person has bought my book. Therefore, no, it is what it is. This is actually something we can talk about as a topic today too, because we have a couple of different ones. But we are going to be talking about the pre-publication process, I believe. And one thing we can kind of talk about is also book launches and book releases, and how that's approached as an independent author versus a traditionally published author.
I know nothing at all about the traditional process, but we know a heck of a lot about the self-publishing process.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things that we know for sure, and there's some things that are speculated on, but like we're gonna get to it. But yeah, first and foremost, to celebrate the release of My Brother's Keeper, which is what I'm still referring to as my Jewish urban fantasy, which oddly enough, I've had more than one person be a little confused when I say Jewish urban fantasy. They're like, what's Jewish urban fantasy? I'm like, so you take urban fantasy. And then they're Jewish. And then you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But not just Jewish, but also the magic is Jewish. So that's actually one of the things that I love the most about this. So I'm going to just kind of ramble poetic for a second, is I really feel like the magic system in this one is one of my favorites of the books that I've written. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the magical contract law of the devil you know, and like, you know, more standard witchcraft. I love the animist environmentalist slant of the magic in Let Sleeping Gods Lie. But the by the book, angels and demons, as my friend Jack Zients says, you know, or joked with me, you know, Gabriel, grant me fist o' power, you know, kind of more scripture magic. I really love the way that the magic system came out in this one. And it's going to be interesting following up on it, because there is going to be another book. There's going to be at least another book. Ideally, there's going to be more than one book. But yeah, I'm very happy with this one. Very proud. And, you know, the reviews have been very good so far, and the feedback is good. Yeah.
And it's the first night of Passover. So
And it is
talking about Jewish magic
Oh, yeah.
on the first night of Passover.
It's Passover Eve.
Yeah. So was it? It's Chag Pesach Sameach is or
That's how you say that.
Yeah, ish. I'm Jewish, so like my pronunciation is. But I will say
You gotta get more chus in there.
Chag? I don't think Chag. It's
Shag Pesach.
Sameach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cha.
Yep.
You got a cha.
Really got to clear
You really
clear that
gotta
throat.
blow out your microphone with it. But funny enough, my phone tried to autocorrect that to change Peach's search. So
Wow.
Peaches search.
the
Change
new
Peach's
Happy
search.
Nailed it.
Passover is change
Change Peach's search.
search.
Change Peach's
Nailed
search
it.
to you too.
And also to you.
And also change Peach's search to you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in a meeting with this is only very slightly related in the room, but that is my train of thought. I was in a meeting earlier with some people. We were talking about kind of like strikes and things related to like May Day, and they were like, do you know the history of May Day? And it was a bunch of guys, and me and one other woman were the only pagans in like the chat, and we were just both like,
Try to not sing
and we're like,
Jonathan Colton song.
Yes,
know
that's
you're
all I
talking-
can think of is the Jonathan Colton song.
we know you're not talking about Beltane. We know it's like workers' rights. It's like a worker, like a labor, the real Labor Day, right? And she was the one who said something first. I was just like, I know you're not talking about Beltane. This is something else.
So my new book is actually coming out on May 1st. The New Orleans, and Ben's been helping me through that a lot, which is actually why I suggested we talk about the process of pre-publishing.
Yes.
Because it's definitely been a learning process for me, and I feel like Ben has helped me through a lot of the steps.
Now, is that a totally new series?
I've been relying on that. Yes, this is the one that I was talking about last time that takes place in New Orleans. That is urban fantasy with fairies and a fairy detective.
Hey.
So, is it supposed to be like people having a baby? You say good luck until it's actually born, and then you say congratulations. Because if you say congratulations too soon, it's bad luck.
Yeah, maybe.
I have no idea.
So good luck. Yeah,
I don't know.
I
So
think
yes,
you're right.
good luck with the.
So congratulations to Ben and good luck to me.
And just a quick shout out to the folks. Emery Grover, another author, just joined us. Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, I feel like I need to do the labyrinth thing because Emery said hello. Did you just say hello? No. I said hello.
I said hello. That's close enough. I almost put that reference in book 2, which I'm writing right now, but I can only go so far as to actually quoting the movie that I'm referencing.
You also have to be careful because I'm never sure. I mean, so like, did we talk about song lyrics yet? In that,
yes,
you should
maybe.
So, authors, don't put song lyrics in your books.
Yeah.
Unless you have the explicit and written permission of the songwriter, or sorry, the rights holder, because it doesn't matter if they wrote the song if a label owns the rights to their music, because it's then the label that you need permission from. So this actually ironically goes to kind of the cover art questions that were coming up when a friend, Kevin. So one of my friends here posted about how he had gotten taken. By taken, I mean like by a scammer, not like Liam Neeson.
No.
He got taken by a scammer on Fiverr to do a cover design, and unfortunately it turned out to have gotten just an AI generated piece of garbage. So then someone recommended, well, you can always make a backup cover in Canva. There's a lot of free libraries and all that other stuff. And I made mention specifically that anything that you use, especially things that are free, you need to make sure you actually have the rights to use that commercially and what the rules are for that. Because a lot of times it's like commercial use with attribution, or so even if it's free to use, if you don't do attribution in like your copyrights page, technically you haven't followed the letter of the law when it comes to the rights to use that. So so
every image, every font.
Back to song lyrics. Yeah, there's no such thing as fair use for song lyrics like there is for other media where you can quote a certain amount of it and it's considered fair use. For music, there's no such thing as fair use. And the only way you get away with it is if the song lyric is also the song title and you reference it as a song title. Because you can reference song titles, you cannot reference song lyrics.
I was going to say, what about song titles? Because my second book is inspired by Labyrinth, and I had the brilliant idea of naming a few of the chapters after David Bowie's songs.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when she travels on the train from one station to another, the chapter title is Station to Station. And, you know, things like that. They're very short and just song titles. I don't think that's really against the rules.
No, but also I think there is a fair use for songs. They have to be 100 years old, just like copyright for books. Because I've done covers of old Irish tunes, and they just had to be over 100 years old, and you could.
Oh yeah, things in the public domain.
Yeah, so when I say
Suddenly
fair,
they're public
fair
domain,
use,
yeah.
I mean things that are still under copyright.
100. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So less than 100 years old.
Yeah. So
thank you, Disney.
Once something
making it 100 years old.
Once something is public domain, you can use it however you want. You know, just like, what is it? Winnie the Pooh without a shirt is public domain. So as long as your Winnie the Pooh is naked, then it's fair use because it's public domain.
As long as he's completely
I guess a lot of people
nude.
want to use. I was going to say, I guess a lot, when you're talking about song lyrics, there are a lot of people that are like, oh, I really want to use that 100-year-old song. Maybe it's just me. Like, I'm like, I want to use that 100-year-old song.
Yeah, and Tanya in the comments mentioned that she's gotten written permission for hers, and you can't. So and Andrew also commented, yes, you can't, even for songs that are protected. Song titles, as far as I understand, and I am not a lawyer, I am not your lawyer. All of this is informational purposes only. Song titles are fair game. But song lyrics are not unless you have written permission. So, for example, like I love a song. Well, I love many songs by this artist, but I loved a song by the Narcissist Cookbook, a fantastic indie musician named Matt Johnston, and it inspired a story that I have yet to write. But I reached out to him to get written permission to use lyrics from his song in my book. And he said, "Yep, have at, go to it. Yeah. I've agreed to the thing." So yeah, it's also, you know, it's often a question of where you're getting it and whether or not you're quoting something from a litigious group like the Mouse, or if it's you know, an independent artist who just would like it if you thought of them kindly.
Yeah. And who hasn't been signed to any labels. Yeah, there was just kind of related to that. There's been this huge controversy. I don't remember her name or the name of her book, but there was an author who was self-published, and then she recently got picked up by a publishing house who then very publicly dropped her because there were allegations that she had used AI for part of her writing. And part of the controversy came up because her original book cover that she used when she self-published was somebody else's art that she did not get permission for using at any point. And she did not acknowledge that it was someone else's painting. And it was like a white dog head, but other people recognized that and said, like, hey, that's this other person's painting. And instead of like reaching out to that artist and saying, hey, can I use your painting, or can I commission from you something similar? She had a completely different artist make a similar drawing and use that for her new art when she like redid the cover, I think, before being picked up for traditional publishing. And it just rubbed everybody the wrong way. And it made a lot of people think, well, if she's taking this shortcut, if she's using other people's art, if she's stealing something, could these AI allegations be true? And then people like ran the book through AI detectors, which themselves are AI, so they're completely unreliable. And I don't believe them at all. I don't think that AI detectors are any good and there's any point in using them. I think the only good AI detector is your own mind. If you can read it and it seems like AI, then maybe it's AI. But like, I don't trust them because They're AI themselves. But the big initial controversy was stealing someone else's art without permission to use it.
If I'm remembering correctly, so that one's been making the rounds in a lot of Discord servers that I'm in, and my understanding is the author has theoretically, or the author has allegedly, and I say allegedly because I haven't read the actual bits of it, but the author has allegedly admitted to giving her manuscript to a friend who was an editor who ran it through AI to edit it, and then she basically just accepted the changes without reviewing. So basically,
that's insane.
I didn't use AI. A friend of mine used AI on my book, and I didn't check. To which is like everyone's like, I'm not sure how that's better. Is that better?
It's not better. That's awful. No. That's AI shouldn't touch your book. I don't care. It's radioactive.
Yeah. If anyone needs to know, so Caffeinated Terrier Press. Let's take a step back and be really real for a second. So Caffeinated Terrier Press has a generative AI statement on our website that we wrote collaboratively and agreed with. So at least the three artists here, plus others, no Caffeinated Terrier Press work will have any generative AI anything having to do with it. It's not used in the artistic process. It's not used for idea generation or outlining or anything. It's not used for research. It's not used to write. It's not used to edit. It's not used to anything. Generative AI, and again, generative AI, not algorithmic AI or machine learning, which are different tools and are not the same theft machine that is generative AI or large language models. And just to take a note to a comment, Andrew says that he uses Pro Writing Aid and Grammarly. I use Pro Writing Aid, but I have turned every generative AI piece of the tool off. Grammar and spell check is not generative AI. It is algorithmic and machine learning. And but as soon as your Pro Writing Aid suggests a different word that isn't a simple like synonym, you have to check to make sure that you've turned those features off. So yeah, Caffeinated Terrier Press is not. We don't screw with generative AI. That's not okay. It's not for us. It's not for any of our work.
Yep.
Well, and it gets really complicated with covers, especially if you're hiring other people to do it. I kept asking Ben, like, because we were using Get Covers, and I'm like, oh, does this look like maybe it's AI? Because I'm getting nervous. And then he looked at it and was just like, what happened was there was a hand with a camera in it, and then the next one, like, I asked them to send me a different thing, and they sent me one, and the hand didn't have the camera anymore. And I was like, uh-oh. Is this an AI thing? But if you look, nothing else changed. So it was a layer issue where they just didn't put that layer in.
Yeah,
they're good.
Go ahead, Laurie.
Oh, no, I was just going to say they're good. They're students who are learning, I think, how to do that kind of thing. So for some reason, I like their work better than the professional side of that business. I like the student work better. I don't know why.
It really depends. The first, so I've commissioned covers both from Get Covers and from, I don't know if Miblart is the way to say it, but that's how I say it. I don't know if it's Meblart or Myblart, but I've commissioned from both of them. And the first effort with Miblart, which is like the mid tier, I hated. It was bad. I don't know if you remember it, but it was like with the really jacked dude and the raccoon.
Oh god,
Oh, yeah,
that was
I
like
remember
leaning
that.
forward.
Yeah.
It was creepy.
That was messed
like,
up.
But that wasn't AI.
No, it was just
that was badly
weird.
rendered 3D models. Like so a lot of bad art that you see that isn't Gen AI is just like poorly skinned 3D renderings. So like that's what that was.
Okay.
it was still bad, and I still didn't use it.
It was real
But
bad.
yeah, that company has been very good as far as I'm going to be honest. I sent them. So sometimes what you do is you send them links to like stock art as examples, and some stock art is AI generated, and usually that stuff is labeled, and I filter it out. But some bit of like something I thought was a line drawing, like just simple like black line drawing art, they apparently identified as being AI generated. And after I sent them the sample of like kind of like this, they said we can't use that because that's generated by AI. And I'm like, great, thank you for letting me know because I want nothing to do with that. So
Yeah.
I want to know why they don't like get covers in the comments.
yeah,
Why Tanya
I'm not
doesn't?
sure. So yeah, I see Emery and Tanya have both
Rough
had bad
experience, and I
experiences,
despise
but
get covers. Yeah.
and to be fair, like Atlas Creed is another pretty well-known indie author who has been very vocal about his bad experience with Miblart. But I, you're looking at three authors who have had great experiences with them, and so it's very much your mileage may vary. It depends on
Yeah.
whether they are the right choice for your genre or book, because they're very good at stock art manipulated covers. That's what they're good at. However, they will still give you a really trash stock art cover if you don't know how to give them like feedback. Like the revision process is the most important part of working with get covers. And I'm not saying, for the record, for Celtic and for Emery, I'm not saying that either of you don't know how to do revisions. Like Celtic is a great artist in her own right. She's a graphic designer as well. So again, I'm not saying why people had bad experiences, but I know some authors whose bad experiences were based on the fact that they couldn't get the artists to do what they wanted them to do. It's also
Well, there's a language barrier. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Since it's another country, I think you got to have like, yeah.
yeah.
is and I was really disappointed that I couldn't come up with the design myself because I've been a graphic designer for over 20 years. So I was like, of course I can do this myself. I used to design catalogs. I design their covers all the time. A catalog is a very different thing from a book. So I was just like, you know,
Oh, no.
I thought that I could do it myself, and I tried, and I could not come up with something that I liked. So it was just like, okay, I'll try get covers. It's inexpensive enough, and they came up with something I absolutely loved from my very rough, really terrible attempt. So it's just like, if it's a specific niche, if it's specific, different styles they can do, and then some I don't know if they really can do what exactly you're looking for. But that's part of the process.
Yeah, and Tanya in the comments, apparently Get Covers spoke with a client of hers and said that her work wasn't good. So I'm sorry that you had that experience.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, that is oddly unprofessional.
It is, yeah.
But yeah. Okay, so we've gone down the rabbit hole. And about a lot of different things. So why don't we talk about more about the pre-publication process? And maybe we answer Andrew's question, because Andrew in the comments says, I don't even know where to start with doing a cover. Okay. So pre-publication, like let's tick off a couple things. Like what are the big things that you really need to worry about before you publish your book? Like, let's go round robin until we run out of stuff. I'll go last because that way, like, I'll make myself think. So Tal, what do you need before you publish your book?
Proofreaders.
Okay.
Yep. Proofreading.
That's further down. I was even going to start with you need a manuscript.
Before then.
Well, yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
You need
I
to
was
finish
assuming you
writing
meant
it.
after you finish writing.
Yeah.
Yep. It needs to be the right length. Is it too short? Is it too long? And get an alpha reader before beta readers. So like somebody else who's not you has got to read it and be like, is this readable?
So
Is this in a language that a human being can read?
you want them to read it, and you don't want them to come to you and say, "All right, but next time less shit."
Right.
Okay. So you need.
I have no idea what I just read.
You need a manuscript. You need. I'm gonna like keep summarizing our things. So you need a manuscript. You need someone to alpha read the manuscript, meaning give you first feedback.
Yep.
Then you need to do some edits.
Yes.
Because usually the alpha read comes with some feedback, like because alpha reading is about, is there a plot hole? Are there slow points? Could something have gone better? Emery in the
Had an alpha reader basically cause a complete rewrite. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, R.I.P. your sanity. I don't know that I could have stomached that, but I understand it. Let's be perfectly clear. The amount of what you do before you publish is wildly variable from author to author. Okay.
Even from book to book.
Yeah.
Too, by the same authors. I've had books that have been really a breeze and ones that have just taken me forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you need your manuscript. You need someone to alpha read it and give you feedback. You need to do something with that feedback. Then you probably need a beta reader or two to read that edited manuscript and tell you whether or not it's ready enough. Okay, then after a beta reader, I'm going to add, you really ideally should have a professional editor. And when I say that, I'm talking about copy and line editing. Okay. Not everyone can afford a developmental editor. Any author that says you must have a developmental editor either has money to burn or can fund it through like Kickstarters and stuff, because developmental editing is the most expensive form of editing. It's the most per word, and it is weird. Like it's the stuff that's supposed to be about developing the story, developmental editing. But a lot of authors don't do that. I, for one, do not pay for a developmental editor. I consider alpha reading where I would get my developmental feedback, which is like plot holes, things that are they get too much foreshadowing, not enough foreshadowing. This part was good, this part was bad, that kind of stuff. So my put was, you need to get at least after beta reading, you at least need to get a copy and line edit done. What happens after that?
After you integrate all those edits
Yeah.
again, I think at that point would that be proofreading then after that?
Yeah, probably. I would say proofreading after that, because then you're getting into the ARC territory, advanced review copies, which really ARCs, and this is kind of interesting. Different people handle ARCs different ways. ARCs are supposed to be ready for publication. Like they're supposed to be 3 typos away from as perfect as you can make it.
Yeah, so we missed the formatting steps. You gotta do the
so then formatting.
ARCs.
Yeah.
Speaking of the thing that we were talking about earlier.
Which is what Ben has been doing for me.
Ben has done for me.
Unfortunately, keep finding little errors and going back to Ben and being like, can you fix this for me?
So after you get your proofread manuscript back, you have to format it. And then after you format it, you can do, also, are you going to have chapter art? Are you going to have custom chapter art? Do you have a partner lives downstairs that draws your chapter art like I do.
Wait, read it out loud to see how it
Oh,
flows? The whole thing?
I do that.
You do
Wow.
that?
So
I
yeah.
would lose my voice immediately.
How about this? Instead of round robin, we could just let each of us, let's just go through our rough process. Okay. So
God.
I draft a book. Okay. Then I put the book away for at least a couple weeks. Then the first thing that I do is exactly what Andrew says, is I read the book aloud to my partner because the best way for me to understand cadence and find issues with really like long or clipped sentences, it's the best way to see whether or not the book flows. So the best way to understand how your writing flows is actually to read it aloud, because if you can't read it like kind of conversationally, you'll find areas that read rough, or you'll find word choices that don't make sense, or you'll find stilted prose, or you'll find you'll find a lot of the things that you should find that you'll actually sometimes miss just reading with your eyeballs. Not everyone reads aloud. Some people have Word or like some screen reader, not an AI generated audiobook thing, but like just the text to speech, because Microsoft Word does that too. So some people will have Microsoft Word read their book to them. It's not as good, but it's better than nothing. So I read aloud. That's my first edit pass is actually reading aloud. Then after that, that's a lie. Sorry. The first thing I do is I actually hand it to my alpha readers before I even read it aloud. I'm so sorry. Because, I don't want to have to go through it 100% until I know whether or not I need to make like major structural changes to it. So until Laurie reads it and tells me, no, that was good. So then the second thing I do is I read it aloud. I do my first self-editing pass, which is reading aloud and going through. See, and Tanya's in the comments being funny because Tanya's actually my pre-alpha reader.
She said throwing us under the bus.
Tanya has access to my manuscripts as I write them.
Wow.
Which is like a weird amount of pressure that I asked for.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Because my stuff's better for it. I've always drafted pretty clean. Since Tanya's been my pre-alpha reader, my drafts are really pretty squeaky as far as that goes. So I'll take it. I end up having to, I don't edit as I go exactly, but I have someone who will tell me, that scene, I don't know. and then I might fix it. So, yeah, she has always been kind of mad about how clean my drafts are even before she got to them. So I see, like, I'm giving Laurie shell shock just from like whatever this process is.
Yeah, no, I would never do any of that.
I'm feeling very self-conscious here.
Oh, don't.
Yeah,
about
no,
my
actually,
process.
I feel stressed out thinking about doing that. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, that
Everything
like
is-
makes me anxious.
No,
I'm
it's great.
getting so anxious right here.
And so Tanya says that I cry when she says that things are adequate. I've learned to accept adequate at this point sometimes, because sometimes it's just like, this is adequate is the best I can do right now. And then I move along. But yeah. If I write a scene and I'm just like, I wonder how this went. Like, hey, tap, tap. hey, screen friend, how did that scene go? And she's like, it was okay. And I'm like, Gah.
You need the Bill McNeil approach to adequate. which I don't know if you even watched that. There was a TV show on in the 90s called News Radio, and I watch it
News
a
radio.
lot.
I love news radio.
And there was like I don't even remember now because it was just on the other day. It was like an article, a review or something that called one of the newscasters adequate. And he pretended that it was the best compliment he'd ever gotten. And he walks around like a rooster for a whole day. And he's like, I'm practically bursting with adequatulence. And just makes up all these words of like his adequatisms. And he's just so happy to have been called adequate. And then later someone calls him on it. And he's like, are you really happy that you're adequate? No, of course not. It's a terrible word. But he pretends for an entire day that he's so happy that someone called him adequate. So you need that. Be happy with your adequatulence.
Adequateness.
Adequisms.
Ooh.
But no, I'm getting really self-conscious because my process for the one book I've published was so much more chaotic and in some ways self-defeating and insane because for a while, every single time I sat down to write, I would read the entire book from the beginning up to the part that I was going to write.
I remember.
It took me a year and a half.
Do you remember
it took me a year and a half to write it. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, do you remember the day where
now,
I was like, don't do that.
Don't do that. What's wrong with you? Yeah. Now I just read like the last little bit and then I keep writing. But no, I did that.
See, I would have trouble with it because I have so many like aha moments. Like I'll write something and then I'll go take a shower and then like the next day, like while I'm in the shower, I'm like, oh, you know what would be great? And then like that's changes a whole bunch of things around and I add it in another place. Then I start writing again. Then like I go for a ride and like driving somewhere and I'm like, oh, you know what? And then I go back and like I'm all over the place. So
I have those when I'm brushing my teeth. You guys saw one morning at 2:00 in the morning. I was like, I just wrote 500 words because I was brushing my teeth and they went into their house and I didn't describe the house. Shit.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I'm like.
I wrote 500 words describing the house.
Going back to add things is okay. Adding is always good. It's the process that we want, especially new authors, to not get stuck in, is the constant editing cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, absolutely. Like love shower thoughts, love toothbrushing thoughts, love whatever chaotic gremlins make words fall out of your head and roll across the table onto the keyboard. So yeah, no, not down on going back and adding a bit before going forward.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'll change a whole scene too. You know, it'll be like this happened in the scene, and then I'm like, oh, you know what could have happened?
Well, like I don't have a developmental editor. I'm very poor. I don't like a whole lot of the parts of this process. I just don't have. What I do have is a stranglehold on the English language, and I am his proofreader. So I do my own proofreading, and I grew up in a not great situation that makes me always feel like I am the only person I can count on. So a lot of these things are things I do for myself, which is not healthy. And I know that. And I have been to therapy back when I could afford the copays, and it didn't work. So I just still do a lot of these things for myself. But I mean, Ben has read, I guess Beta read the one book. I've had some of this process, and a lot of the people who can talk to my face have told me that the book is good. It's the anonymous people on the internet that are like, this isn't what I was looking for. But then some of them love it. So I guess it's good. I don't know. But listening to his process makes me feel so adequate.
I didn't even get through it yet, though.
I know.
So,
I know, and there's more.
It's too long. There's
more
too much
coming.
of your process.
No.
How?
Look, okay, fine. And then I'm going to add, it's like, and then I record the audiobook. No, that's like the end.
I haven't even touched that. It's going to take so long.
Audiobooks do take a lot. We should actually just do an episode about audiobooks.
Yeah. So we got 10 minutes left tonight.
We do have 10 minutes left tonight. So about that Jewish book. No, no. Tal, what's your general process? General
Oh
process.
gosh. So I just write a lot, and then I send it to my dad, who has a PhD in English and was a newspaper editor for a bazillion years and a college professor in English. And I have him read the whole thing, and he does some sort of line edits. I wish my mom would read it because she is also a proofreader, and she is a very good proofreader, and she is an adult spelling bee contest winner. I'm not even joking.
Wow.
Like, she was like the newspaper's spelling bee contest winner. She knows how to spell everything, but she never wants to read it in my stuff for some reason. And then I ask all the people I know if anyone would look at it and do some edits. And I'm friends with a lot of English majors, and they'll say, okay. And then they'll throw in some edits, and that's where I've gotten so far. And then I ask Ben to fix things that I missed afterwards, which is the worst way to do it.
I mean, you're always going to find. So, I'm sure we've mentioned this other times. Even in traditionally published books, you're going to find typos. Like even the great Brando Sando says that Brandon Sanderson. I just call him Brando Sando because it's funny to me.
It is funny to me too.
Yeah. Which, oh God, I felt a little bit like I stuck my foot in my mouth, but then I got over it and realized that didn't change my opinion at all. One of our new
with Lindsay.
Yeah, one of our new co-op members has been an alpha and beta reader for Brandon Sanderson like since he started. And like, I had a really hard time not being like, no, actually, I think I said my favorite word, which is congratulations. And like, that's really cool. But at the same time, I cannot imagine Alpha reading Brandon Sanderson's books because they've gotten to the point where I can barely read them when they're done. So.
Yeah, that was fun to watch.
Yeah.
In the Discord.
Yeah, I have opinions. I'm sorry.
And you're allowed to have them.
I am. I mean, like, it's also...
And you're going to be performing with her, kind of, because you're going to be performing back to back.
That's fine. Who's going first?
I don't know.
Well, it doesn't matter.
I'm not even going to be there.
Yeah, it does. Who cares? Tal's not going to be there.
I'm so happy I never leave my house.
What in the hell were we were going to talk about something as far as release days. Let's spend 5 minutes talking about
then releasing.
So you do all this stuff, or you don't.
This stuff.
It's either a 20-step process or a 2-step process. Whatever it is that you do, eventually you decide that you're releasing this damn book. So, in traditional publishing, the way that it normally works is your release numbers, like how many books you sell on pre-order and on your release day or week or whatever. Like those kind of numbers are really the determination of how well you did. Because New York Times or USA Today bestseller lists are based specifically on certain small periods of sale numbers. And if you don't make your numbers in that period, you are not one of those best-selling authors. It's also kind of a scam, and there have been scandals of people buying warehouses full of their own books to make the bestseller list, which I don't know.
Everything's a scam.
Whatever, man. Game the system.
It's all a scam. Yeah.
So yeah, in traditional publishing, release days matter. Your launch is what your success level is for your book. And the majority of books don't out-earn their advances. So like, let's say I was paid, let's say I'm a magical unicorn that got a 6-figure deal, and one of the big 5 was paying me $100,000 for my manuscript.
That's the dream.
I don't know. At this point, is it? Sure, but
it's my dream. No.
So let's say that I got a 6-figure deal. If my book does not perform well, chances are I am never going to earn out my advance, which means other than the advance, I'm never getting another dime from the publisher. because unless it goes blockbusters, then you're not out earning that advance. And but most advances aren't that big, and most authors still don't out earn their advances. So like even if I went with a mid-list or mid-tier publisher and was a mid-list author and they gave me a $10,000 to $20,000 advance on a book, I am still likely to not earn out that for a very long time. So releases matter because how well your book does. I talk good do. How well your book does determines whether or not you're ever going to make any more money from it for the most part. Tal, anything to add on that one?
Gosh, no. Go ahead.
Oh, unless HBO makes it into a show.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
That could always happen.
Get a show.
It could always happen. But for independent authors, independent publishing, I consider it's the long game, right? Release days, launches do not matter as much for an independent author. Are they important? Sure. But does the importance vary based on the author? Also, yes. Tanya said it earlier in the chat. She just kind of releases her books into the wild and lets them run feral. I release my books. I try to promote them prior to release. I do a month-long, maybe 2 at most, usually just a month-long pre-order period for the ebook. I go on podcasts. I share on social media. I do all sorts of stuff. You want to guess how many pre-orders I had for My Brother's Keeper?
No idea.
Take a guess.
10.
Close. I had 9.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it feels okay, but the reality is, is that a good pre-sale number? No. But, is it fine? Yeah. Because the reality is I'm putting the book out into the world and I'm trying to build a reader base for my catalog of books. Mm-hmm. So it's less important that My Brother's Keeper do well on release day as much as I keep writing the books and then release more of the books and build a reader base that will read and support the books. And then eventually, that's supposed to build readership and build an audience. So indie publishing is really more a long game than trad, I think, when it comes to releases.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of people they see that something's part of a series and they don't even want to start until the series is done. And I blame George R.R. Martin for that.
And Patrick Rothfuss.
And Pat Rothfuss. Yeah, there you go.
Whoever it was that wrote The Wheel of Time.
Oh,
and
Robert Jordan.
Died.
Yeah, but his problem is he died. Not it's not
it wasn't his fault.
Yeah, it's not like he died on purpose.
But then Brandon Sanderson finished the series, and it was just as not great as the rest of the series.
Yeah, I tried watching the show. I got through the first episode, and I was like, I hate every single person in this.
You would hate the books too, then.
Okay. I hated them all so much, and none of their clothing fit. And I was like, this is bad. Their clothing would have been made for them, and none of it fits. Why am I watching this?
This is circling back around to the little thing that took you out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all this magic, sure, whatever, but that ill-fitting vest.
Someone would figure that out by now.
I made my own garb when we were in a Renaissance reenactment group. I made my own clothing. It's not hard to make it fit. It just, that was what took it. I could go on and on, but it's.
I feel like it's funny that the epilogue for this show is, by the way, we hated the Wheel of Time. You're welcome.
But there have been enough authors who've started series that they never finished. That I understand. I know my book says it's book 1 of a series. I can understand why there are people who are I'm not going to read that. That series might never end, even though the first book stands perfectly fine on its own. No, I get it, because the winds of winter will never come. I understand. I get you. I'll keep writing, and someday the series will be over, and then feel free to pick up all the books.
Yeah.
Which will hopefully only
TV
be
show
3,
is a
but might be
letdown.
4. I don't know. It's never being made into a show, even though I can picture every single. Anyway, no.
So what is
I get it.
I feel like is it the motto of Caffeinated Terrier Press is we're doing our best? Is that like our motto?
I think it should be, yeah. Or through caffeine, all things are possible. I don't know.
Through caffeine, all things are possible. Maybe not all at once.
I can't even do caffeine most of the time. I shouldn't even be part of this.
I'm not supposed to have it, but some days.
Oh, I'm gonna do a TikTok thing later. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow. But do you want to do this with me as like the ending? Because I think it's fun. Like, do you know the put a finger down challenges? How those work?
No.
Okay,
Maybe.
So the put a finger down challenge is you hold up your hand, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and we all have 5 fingers because no one has had an amputation and we're not AI.
And we don't play with fireworks.
Yeah.
Like that.
On the Pit. Oh
and
my
kind of.
god, that's such a good show.
I haven't seen it.
Okay,
I love that show.
So
that is like it. We'll get into it later.
So the way that works is if I say something that is true or has happened to you, you're going to put a finger down. So like if I say, let's just start. Because I'm also making these up. This is me on the fly. All right, put a finger down if you've ever been told that independent publishing makes you not a real author. Have you been told that independent publishers are not real authors?
I feel like I've heard it, but no one's told me to my face.
Right. Put a finger down if you have heard that independent authors are not real authors.
Okay, yeah.
Put a finger down if you have to do all of your marketing as an independent author.
Oh.
All right. Put a finger down if you've had a review that said negative things about your book. All right. Put a finger down if none of that actually matters and you're just going to keep writing anyway. See, you have to do the right fingers though. See, Laurie understood the assignment. It's in the
Hey, this could be a swear in other countries.
Yeah.
So yeah,
a lot of our hand gestures are.
I'm going to do that for funsies later because yeah, I'm very tired of the indie authors are it's the whole like if you can't teach nonsense.
Yeah.
If it's like if you can't get a real book deal, then be an independent author, and I hate it.
Yeah.
If you don't have a lot of money, then you're an independent author.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to come up with a better list, but like that's the gist of it. Is ends with the bird.
Yeah. Pretty much any time a celebrity I follow suddenly has a novel they published, I stop following them because fuck you. Fuck you. The only reason you got that novel published is because you're already famous. It's probably not even good.
It was also potentially ghostwritten.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I don't care.
I'll see your oy vey and raise you an oy gewalt. Speaking of Jewish things, everyone should go buy my book. Segue.
Buy Ben's book.
It's really good.
Go buy My Brother's Keeper so that you, like Poppy Alexander's, can throw the book against a wall when you get to the twist at the end.
Oh my god! Yeah, I got to the twist and I was reading it on my laptop. I pushed the laptop away and just sat there staring at my ceiling for a while. Oh my god! I want to talk to my husband about this, but he hasn't read this. I don't know what to do. And I messaged Ben. I was like, what the fuck?
Another author friend, Niranjan, messaged me afterwards with the words, fuck you, how dare. That was good too.
I was like, how dare you write a book this good?
I will say this is the book that has made me wonder if any of the books I write after this are going to be any good. The reality is, yeah, they're going to be good. It's just, it's not everything has to be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming, and I felt like I should have, because the foreshadowing's there. You will slap yourself because you'll feel like you should have seen it. You don't see
Michael
it.
Vadney of Author Adjacent did a review for Fanfi Addict of the book, and he said that the ending felt both inevitable and surprising. Like at the same time, in the once it clicks, everything that I hinted at now falls into place.
Yeah. I was like, it was there. It was in front of me the whole. How do you do that?
I don't know, and I'll probably never be able to do that again.
No.
But I did it, and it's published, and you should go buy it, everybody. All right.
I'm not gonna start calling you M. Night Shankman and expecting every book to have a big twist in it, because that would be horrible.
The funny thing is, though, they all have. I am such a huge fan of the double twist.
You do have twists.
Yeah, they're just they can't all be epic. Some of them are just going to be good.
And there is more than one twist in this book.
Yep.
By M. Night Shankman.
M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong.
M. Night Shankman.
No, because all of his stuff is bad now, so you shouldn't do that. That's like cursing.
That's true. He had like a couple good twists, and then every movie was supposed to have a twist, and some of them are just like, the beach makes you old, and it's like, but
or gay people can't be happy. That one was bad.
Okay, I didn't see that one.
But
the one with the cabin.
Oh, I didn't see the one.
I watched Old, and Old is so weird.
I yelled at the screen at the end of Signs.
Yeah,
I thought the end was
people
so
love it.
stupid.
I didn't like it. I thought it was stupid too.
Nope.
I Googled most of the twists, but I watched Old because I was like, I got to see what Old is about. And then and then afterwards, I was like, why didn't I just Google the twist in that one?
Yeah. Once there was like the
beach makes you old.
Like the voice of the dead wife saying "swing home," I wanted to like choke someone out. It was.
Well, I hated that it was water. They were like, water is the thing that kills them. I was like, water? The whole planet is water. It's in the air. Like, and they're like, and they figured it out in the Middle East. I'm like, why in the place where there's no water they figure out it was water?
So,
I got shit to do. So
yeah, before we go, who are you and where can people find your stuff? Laurie, you go first.
I'm waking up my tablet.
Okay, Tally, you go first.
No, I got it.
No, she's got it.
I got it. I'm Laurie Nielsen. I wrote this book. It's called Down the Rabbit Hole. It is book 1 in the Liminal Spaces series. It's about a woman who learns that she's a banshee, and there's going to be more books in the series. But the first book stands alone, so you can go ahead and read it. And I will finish the series.
It's great.
Unless I die, and then Brendan Sanderson will finish this. No, he won't. No, it's okay.
All right, Tal.
I'm Tal Good. I have some books. I have a 4-part middle grade urban fantasy series.
You're so good at marketing.
I'm sorry. I'm Tal Good and I'm good at marketing. No, yeah. I have a 4-part middle grade urban fantasy series called The Secret Wing. It's great for kids. And I have a young adult urban fantasy called Fairy Blood. And I'm very soon to have an adult book, because everywhere I go, everyone's like, well, that's great that you have all this kids stuff, but what do you have for grown-ups? I will have an adult book called Fairy Forensics. You're starting to see a theme here. There's lots of fairies in my books, and I'm sure Laurie will like those.
I appreciate
as well,
that.
because there's lots of fairies in her books. That's it. Go ahead, Ben.
Excellent. Yeah, so and I as always am Ben Shankman, urban fantasy author and audiobook narrator. You can find me at benshankman.com. And all my socials are there. I am the author of the Devil You Know series, currently at 3 books. The Chronicles of Corbin Pierce, currently at 1 book. And The Cycle of Ash, currently now 1 book, starting with My Brother's Keeper. Also with an unrelated dungeon core fantasy called Underleveled with a T-Rex in it. So, go check that one out, too. But yeah. Thank you all very much for joining us for Caffeinated Terrier Talk, where we are, in fact, over caffeinated and underslept. So good night, everybody, and have a great rest of your night.
Good night.